Welcome back to Special K and where we left off. So as I think I said last time, this is not the finished colour at all. It's just something I happen to have kicking around. I'm not talking about the slime either. I'm just showing you the contrast between the Kawasaki type green and that teal blue. I like it. A little bit of white, a dash of yellow, and a lot of matte black. So that should all look rather fetching. Anyway, there's a long way to go. A lot of prep work to be done still. And actually, the more I look at it, the more I think yellow is a really nice accent colour, and that'll kind of marry up the Yamaha front end with the whole Kawasaki deal. And yellow is just kind of a cool accent colour. And I've had another idea for these. What do you think of this? And if you think it's tedious, you want to see it from my perspective. You're not the one with our make. Alrighty, all prepped up. Let's do some primer. Just an initial coat on everything again. Just to show up the floors, really. Nah, not that floor. The floors. Those kind of floors, that's going to show up. Well, it's a bit hazy in here. Thank God for that, eh? Anyway, not bad for a first pass. Camera's struggling to focus because it's kind of foggy in here. Yeah, that's not bad. No, I'm in the way. Cool. Likewise with this. This is even better because there were only little nicks and pieces out of this anyway. That one don't look too bad. Oh yes, didn't do this one because we need to sort that out. Alright, that's going to be a bastard. So all these turned out remarkably good just with a coat of primer, so I fully encourage anyone doing their own paint. Just when you're kind of getting frustrated and whatever, throw a coat of primer on there because it does a marvellous job of getting your mobile phone shadow in the way of the shot. It does a marvellous job of just filling up those little cracks. Yeah, even the tank, which looked a bit patchy, honestly, it feels good. You know, you can see a few little blemishes, but actually, yeah, just this is going to be a, you know, like an 800,000, maybe 1,500 grit rub down, and I think we'll be ready to go. That's exciting because I'm looking forward to this candy apple stuff. Meanwhile, on the other panel, laying it on thick. Yeah, just wodged it on there, as you can see. That's going to take some sanding. And any leftovers are going at the rear end, which is going to take some serious sanding. Anyway, I found some shock absorbers today. They might look quite good. I know, I'm flitting around as usual. And at some point, I've got to clean all that down, degrease it, and paint that. That's going to be tedious. Never mind, it's all about the result. I mean, that kind of worked. Yeah, so I sanded it down with some like 120 dry, and then moved on to some 120 wet, and now finally with like an 800 wet. And I think that's at a point I just want to put some primer on it, see what it looks like I did with the others. Little sponge bath of our favourite automotive prep. Yeah, good stuff. Better than acetone or whatever. One final rub down on the tank with some wet and dry 800, some old 800, so it's probably nearer 1,000, right? So I'll just wipe that off. And the tank is ready to go. I'm obviously going to get all this stuff ready together so that we can do it in one hit with our candy paint. Exciting. Well, there we go. And yeah, I hate to say it because you just never know, but compared to all the other projects, this Kawasaki has so far been a dream. And the prep for the paint. I mean, despite that little bodge job, has been amazing. Yeah. I mean, I know as far as you're concerned, it's like week 8 or something. But actually the reality is it's not even a month yet. Oh, I know. I haven't done anything about the inside yet, have I? I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I might do that lime green engine paint when it arrives, or I might do it black. Not going to bother prepping it apart from cleaning it up, and obviously we'll be doing that before we do any of the candy stuff. Yeah, it's still not quite perfect, but we're getting there. Good. Carry on. By the way, that's literally like 10-15 minutes later after I sprayed it. God bless Arizona and its dry climate. Yeah, it's one big painting oven. Still on the paint theme, I'm going to be painting these, and we're going to be removing all of those, obviously, to paint them, and we're going to be replacing these with Allen bolts because I don't know, it's just Phillips, so last century, aren't they? Especially when you have to use one of these to get to that one down there. Yeah, because it's just because I haven't got a Phillips screwdriver long enough. But there you go. So they're all protected, closed up, while I'm dealing with the other stuff. Other stuff being a foam bath for these boys. Just going to let that soak for a couple of minutes, get the old toothbrush on the job. It's no wonder my teeth are black. Degreased, rinsed up, little bit of sanding, and the only casualty so far on this bike is a gasket, and I don't know if that's a 1977 gasket, but yeah, it didn't come off cleanly. 1 out of 4. More foaming at the mouth, and for these guys I'm actually just gonna start with not that, this stuff. Yeah, that stuff that I test painted everything else with. The engine high paint, high tech, whatever engine paint, turquoisey colour. Let's slap our Kermit Kawasaki green on top of that in a fade like we did on the Honda. Well, they look better already, but that's even better. Cool. Can't wait for the lime green. Yeah, nice, like it. Sweet. Yes, we're going for it. Drilled the first hole. A little bit larger than I imagined, but there we go. Number 2 hole, drilled, slightly smaller than the first one. And now for the final one. A little bit bigger. Got a little over enthusiastic about the quality of the tank, so a little bit more filler in there, a little bit more filler on that one, and we're ready to go. Flacked up the battery cradle, primed those, put them on the shelf, sanded, ready for priming, and found another little glitch. And there's the underside of the tank, black enamelled. So yeah, that bit's done at least. Tank is finally ready, so all elements are ready for the paint process, having been primed. Rather like that overspray. Anyway, so this is it. It's complicated. What I figured is we'll do the base next, then we'll put a stripe on, which we won't actually mask particularly. So what I'm going to do is spray just a general white stripe down there. Actually, that angle. We're going to follow that angle. So a white stripe there, and then we'll mask half of that and do the yellow stripe. So let me something like that, and then mask that, yellow stripe. That's the plan anyway. Exciting, huh? Yes, this is my favourite part. We have reached base camp. There is the base coat of the Candy Apple, a coarse metallic base coat. Cool. Candy next. Wait, no, stripes keep up to date. So yeah, let's leave that to dry overnight, despite what my impatient self might normally do, and then we'll mask off stuff for striping. And actually, I figured that this is what this would be. So we're going to go with yellow and silver stripe, not yellow and white, I think. Anyway, I've got overnight to think about it. And just FYI, one can, barely enough to do the whole job. Yeah, so all of those and the tank, obviously. Yeah, so it's one generous coat. I mean, probably the equivalent to 2 coats, honestly. Anyway, right now I have to go and make some of my world famous popcorn, apparently according to my wife. And if you've never had any of my world famous popcorn, I shall eventually be opening Tink's world famous popcorn emporium in, I don't know, Las Vegas maybe. As you can see, I've decided to swap things around a little. I think we're going to go with the candy first, just because I'm really not sure about the stripe right now. And I'm very excited to see what this turns out like. I'm also slightly dubious about how easy it's going to be to paint, because I'm figuring it's like a lacquer coat on top, like a clear coat with colour. So let's see how that goes. More gingerly coming into play, Mr. Tyndall. And as far as shaking paint goes, you can either shake it furiously for 1 to 2 minutes, or just gently while you have a cigarette. Anyway, as I think I said, I think this is going to turn out very similar to the Honda, except of course I'm coating the whole tank with the green, with the teal. But yeah, I think this candy is going to be very similar to this, a translucent paint that allows the metallic base to come through underneath, which is exactly what we did on the Honda. Alright, let's do this. As you can see, I've already started on the bottom edge. So you can have it as teal as you like, really. And you just keep layering it on. And you get that super glittery metallic coming through. Going on nicely, actually. I'm not looking at the camera, by the way, so if I go off screen, I apologise. I'm looking at what I'm doing. Again, as usual, 4 to 6 inches away. Try not to get any runs. Alright, so I'm doing the flat surface now, where you can afford to be a little bit more generous with the paint, because it ain't going to drip so much. And I'm doing that fairly quickly, whilst the can is still fairly full. Alright, well I'm going to do the rest off camera because it's easier for me. Get the idea though. Well, that looks pretty cool, but at this point I'm worried that I haven't got enough of the teal to do the rest of the bits. So, yeah, well that's the tail section done. It's quite difficult to get an even coat of this stuff on, honestly. As you can possibly tell, it's a bit difficult with the light. But, yeah, kind of running on empty. Guess I'll have to see if I can just get a can of the teal. Yeah, that's empty. I do like it though, but of course it's different from the other teal by quite a long chalk. So those remain unpainted for now. I mean unfinished at least. And that means that this will also remain unfinished from the point of view of the 2K clear. I shall put it away somewhere safe. Regardless, at this point I'm quite happy with the result that we have. It's quite sparkly, but yeah, I would say a really nice colour. Perhaps more mallard than teal, I don't know. No, that's properly green, isn't it? So stripe wise, I'm thinking something like this. Got all the doors open just to let some fresh air through after painting, and looking at the ridiculously eclectic collection of vehicles. Yes, Lancia Stratos, totally impractical for anything apart from rallying. FJ Cruiser, very practical, ridiculously reliable car, and crazy Bel Air, rat rod. Never mind the bikes and the bumper cars. Yes, I'm officially a lunatic. Talking of stripes, I was debating whether I was going to put them on the tailpiece, and now there's no option, because look at that, that's a hideous, yeah, hideous drip run. Bugger. So here's what that's going to look like. Well, I was just masking everything up for stripes when I realised that this is not as bad as it looks. It looks hideous, doesn't it? But it's just the candy. It's actually a minute drip. So I'm just going to sand it down and wait till we get some more of the candy colour, which unfortunately is going to be a while, because apparently the seller has just gone on holiday. So that's that. And likewise on the tank, whilst this stripe goes beautifully at an angle that way, on the other side it goes this way. And I wanted to follow the angle of the badge. So rethinking the stripes altogether. I.e. no stripes. Because this turned up today and I can't make my mind up on the colours even, because I was thinking white and yellow. Now I'm thinking yellow and this, or white and this, and yeah, I just can't make my mind up. So on that note, I think we call it a day. Can't be carrying on with such indecision, so you'll have to wait until the next episode, or the one after, whenever the paint arrives. So yeah, thanks for watching. As always, if you haven't already, do subscribe. If you thought the video was any good, give it a thumbs up, and of course encourage others to watch my lunacy.